Hi there, this is a tutorial to help you get through the finalizing your files for clients assignment. And so let's utilize the demo file that I've provided. This text should be set up in Arial so that you have that, you should have it on your computer. And then I've created a little vector icon. So we've got the word mark, we've got the icon, and together they make up the lockup, the logo lockup. And so, well, first, before I start putting this together into a way that we can deliver it to your client, what we need to do is just understand what we are offering to the clients. When you finish a logo, you want to make sure that it's set up in a couple of different formats so that your client can use them in different ways. We've got one set up for a light background. If we can see if that is in a white and push it to the back, that it works just fine. And then the same thing for a dark background, and that works just fine as well. And then we've got a version that's all white and all black. And then what I've done is separated out the icon so that they can use that separately, and then we've got the word mark so they can use that separately. We've got the lockup, the icon, and the word mark. And so the first thing that we're going to want to do here, according to our list, is we want to group the lockup together. We just don't want the icon and the word mark to shift at all. So make sure you group these together. Okay. The next step is we're going to need this font to be outlined. We want to make sure that the client does not experience any issues with broken fonts because they don't own that particular font if they were to open this file and edit it for any reason. So what we're going to do is just select all of your fonts, all of the type, and go to Type, Create Outlines. All right, if you'll notice, there's a shortcut. If you just go to Shift-Control-O, we'll make that happen. Okay. All right, so that's perfect. And now if we take a look at our outlines, you can see that the lettering here is now ready to go. It's in its outlines. And let's get rid of these here just to get them out of the way. The next step is we need number 3 to size the logos for high resolution output. Now, I have it set as 1280 pixels, and I think that's the best way to go, because what that ends up being in terms of when it's translated to inches, it's about 17 inches wide. So 1280 pixels, make sure that it's a high resolution in both, for both on screen and when printed, okay? And you want to make sure that 1280 is in the widest or the largest dimension. For this, that would be the width, not the height. If I made it 1280 in the height, it would be super duper wide. We don't want that. So we're doing the width, and I'll grab all of these together and simply change here in the width. We're going to go 1280 and hit enter. Push that off to the side. Do the same thing with these. These are basically squares. I mean, they're circles, but it'll be the same in both dimensions. So we'll just choose all 3, and we're going to change the width of these to 1280. And I know that's very large, but if you'll notice, this ends up being the right width, the same width as the lockup, which is exactly what we want. Let's get these, move them over, and then change that in the width to 1280, and that's perfect. So let's move these over here. And then what we're going to do is, let's take a look at, we're going to add artboards underneath each lockup and icon and word mark. So the way to do that is you want to grab your artboard tool, and you'll come in here and click on part of the lockup. And since they're grouped together, if I click right here, it adds it to that particular group. Now you notice I clicked twice. I'll click once, and then I'll click a second time. And what that's doing is it allows you to select the group or select the object and then click again to put the artboard underneath that object. So select, click again. Sometimes it takes a couple of clicks, but do that for all of these items. Okay, now that we've got all of those done, what we're going to need to do next is name the artboards. And here is the list of how I'd like you to name these particular artboards. We've got lockup hyphen color, lockup hyphen inverted color, lockup hyphen white, black, etc. Icon color, white and black, and word mark color, white and black. Now, when you name your files, make sure that you use a hyphen or an underscore. Do not use a space. And so this is how you're going to name your artboards. There are two different ways that you can do it. So if we, just as an example, I'll use the original logo over on this side just to show you. We'll select that artboard, and then on the right here on your properties panel, you'll see the ability to simply change what's in this field. And you can put in lockup hyphen whatever color. Okay, there you go. And then press enter on your keyboard to push that into place, to lock it into place. Okay, the other way to change this, the name of that artboard, is to pull open your artboards panel. And that's right over here on this icon right there. Now you can actually pull that out if you'd like. It's up to you. You don't have to. Let me make it a little smaller. There we go. Now you'll notice number 1 here says lockup color. There it is. Okay. Now let me back out here again. I'm going to delete this artboard altogether. So let me just click on that and just get it out of the way and move it out here. Now notice when you click on 1 here, it'll jump right to 1. Okay, I double clicked on that. If you go to 2, it selects it. If you just do a single click on it, it selects it. If you double click on it, it jumps right, it will take you right to that artboard. So for this first one, on the top over here on the left, we're going to double click on the word artboard 14 and name that one lockup color. No spaces. Number 2 is lockup inverted color. Okay. Number 3 is the one below that, should be lockup white, and then lockup, let's go down to that one, lockup black. Okay, and then I'll just go ahead and rename these others, and I'll speed through this and come back when I have finished. Okay, there we go. I've named all of the artboards now, and the next step is, after we've got this step all done, is to create 4 folders. So we've got a lockup, icon, word mark, and then you want a folder for your source files. And now we'll need to make folders. And so if you're in Windows, if you have a PC and you're in Windows, what you're going to do is just open up your location where you're going to save it on your desktop, or if you do this in Google Drive, just choose new and new folder in the upper left. But here I'm going to right click once and choose new folder, call this one lockup. Next one, right click, new folder icon. Next one is new folder word mark. And then the last one is new folder source files. Okay, now that that's done, I'll close this, and I've got my folders all done. Next, I want to save the file that I've got open with all of my work. And let's get rid of this original one because we've got all of these set up already in the proper artboards. And we didn't need that original one any longer. So we'll go to save, do a save as, make sure that it's going into the proper location, and this one will be in the source files location. We're going to call this the name of the company, or the name of the logo or the project. This is company name hyphen, no spaces, master file, All right, and then put in a hyphen and the date. We want to put it. I always like to put a date on the source file so that we can tell when it was created, how long ago, and what version it is. And make sure that it's just the AI format. Hit save. Click OK on the next dialog box that comes up. Then we want to, now we've got the proper name for this file that's open. We need to save a copy. Do not do a save as on this one. If you do save as, what that does is it changes the name and the file basically that you're currently working in. We want to change the file format, but we don't want it to change the one we're currently working on. So save a copy. Change the save as type to EPS, and just take the word copy off the end and then hit save, and then hit OK. Okay, now that allows, what that does is an AI file format is only editable within Adobe Illustrator. If you create the EPS file, they can open that in just about any editor that they want. It's a vector file format, the EPS, which is the same as the AI file. So they should have no problem with that. The next step is to export everything. We need to export a PNG file or a PNG, a JPEG, and a PDF for each artboard. So the way you do that is this. You go File, Export, Export for Screens. You'll notice that, generally speaking, these should all be checked. When you open this up, they're all checked, check marked. What you do is just clear the selection, and then we're going to do each one individually, each type. So what I'd like you to do is select, let's go in here, we're going to click Save Files. You're going to select the Export To so that we can select the location for this first one, which is the lockup. Go into the lockup, hit Select Folder. That's where this one is going to be, these are going to be saved to. The first format, what we need is a PNG set up with a 1x. That doesn't change the dimensions of your original artboard. It gives them exactly the same dimension that you set it up on the artboard. And then same thing for PNG, I'm sorry, for a JPEG, we want JPEG 100. That's the highest quality. And you can take the suffix out of the middle, they don't need anything in there. The last one, just click on Add Scale, come down here and go to PDF. That's all we need. We need a 1x PNG, 1x JPEG 100, and a 1x PDF. Now for the PNG, let me just back up a step. Make sure you're not using PNG 8. Use PNG that just says PNG. That's a higher quality selection. And if you can have this checked if you'd like to have the folder open up after you export it so you can see that they're there. So now we just hit Export Artboard. And what you should get is 3 versions for each of these 4 artboards, making a total of 12 options in your folder. Okay, so that worked. Let's close that. Let's do the next set. And what you want to do is simply go to File, Export, Export for Screens. Make sure that you select the new location for the icons. So we're going to go up one and choose Icon to select that folder. Clear the selection and make sure that you're only selecting the next batch, which would be the icons. Keep the formats the same. Export the artboard. And there you have it. Now if you go back, you should see the lockup and the icon each have their, theirs broken down. They have their file formats and everything they need. Now what we're going to do is we need to do the word mark, and then let's see, I think we're just about done with it, but let's go to Export for Screens. You can uncheck these and select your word mark. The location needs to change to the word mark. Select Folder. Export the artboard, and there it is. Now the last step is to grab all four folders and zip them up. So to do that, what we need to do is let's go to my desktop and grab here. So we need to zip up all 4 of these folders so that we can send them to our clients. We're not going to send them the folders like this. In a Windows machine, what you do is you just go select all of the folders, or you can select the top one, press Shift, and select the bottom one. It will select them all like that. Right click, choose Send to Compressed Zipped Folder. Now watch what happens. And it'll give you the name of one of the folders inside here that happens to be wrong. So we want to name this appropriately. This will be company name hyphen logo package. And that folder right there is what I will send to my client. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Now, this is what they will get. If we double click on this, you'll see inside you have a compressed folder. What they're going to end up doing is you go to this compressed thing here, the tab at the top, and click extract all. It's going to open it into a new folder for them, and they will be able to utilize all of these from within that folder. That's how the zip folder works. Okay? All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll help you through any of your issues if you have any problems using this, getting through this assignment.